Australia at 104 degrees. British media predicting 104 degrees in the UK. We've had over 104 degrees actual temperature here where I live, let alone once you add the humidity in. Happy Sunday, everyone. I'm Akorn. Welcome back to Laugh While the World Burns. Hope all of you are having a great weekend and that you're ready for today's show where we highlight some of the idiocracy that is modern day society. So let's get to it. When you see someone get out of a car with California plates and walk towards a buffalo. That's very true, although it ain't just Californians, unfortunately. I've shown a lot of articles in the past about who I call the people of Yellowstone. Maybe I should make a show just about that. Never forget the paper straw wrapped in plastic. It not only shows the stupidity of people who push this, but it also shows the ones who created it how they're mocking the people. Had some of these in some previous episodes, guys. Here's a brand new one from July 25th. Kentucky man suffers from PTSD after waking up during organ harvesting procedure. Like I said before, who knows just how many people that this happened to, but I just didn't wake up in time. When it's so hot out, the state flower wilts. Yeah, that looks about right. There's a road that I know of that's been closed down for maintenance for almost a year now, so everyone has to take the long way around. My friend said, come to the beach. There's a ton of women out here. That's pretty bad. Solving problems isn't hard if the goal is to solve problems. That is 100% fact check true. Inmate mistakenly released from the same New Orleans jail where 10 others escaped. How sure are they that it was mistakenly done? And even if so, then whose incompetence is it? The Kardashians have found a look that won't be copied. No, unfortunately, people still will. I got a parking ticket for using a charging station in an electric car. This is a pretty good one here. At this parking lot, for whatever reason, you're not allowed to back in. You're only allowed to pull in, as stupid as that sounds. When it's hot outside and you need to rehydrate with a cool and refreshing beverage. I admit I like ketchup, especially on certain foods. But that's just disgusting. Breaking news from Canada. The Liberals have defeated our Conservative motion to repeal the government's gas-powered vehicle ban. In less than 10 years, Canadians won't be able to buy gas-powered vehicles. Instead, the Liberals will mandate you buy costly electric cars. This is insane. Ain't just about the cost, it's about the control. Just like I showed in last Sunday's video. The price is white. New York Post. Ma'am Denny says white neighborhoods should pay higher property taxes. But remember, that's not discrimination or racism because it's only against white people. The technology we always needed. Why isn't this mandatory on all sheets? Or at least an advertised feature. I never wish unaliving upon anyone who wrongs me. I wish for sudden explosive diarrhea while stuck in traffic with frequent sneezes. Man, they must really have a grudge. They have to be Gen X. The Daily Caller. Oh, I'm very happy. Latinos living along southern border rave over Trump's crackdown. Yeah, because some of them spent a decade trying to get their citizenship while they watch all these other people walk across the border and have everything handed to them. I pranked myself by going to school for 18 years for nothing. It's sad, but it's true.
I spoke to my ex after 10 years. Miss or Mrs., he asked. Doctor, I said.
He was asking if you're single or not. God, I would never want anyone that stupid to be my doctor. I absolutely have to agree. Although, unfortunately, there's a lot of them. OpenAI's ChatGPT agent casually clicks through "I am not a robot" verification test. As if it ever really stopped much in the first place. I don't know why people think it would stop the current AI. If Democrats truly believe the U.S. is such a racist and oppressive nation, then why aren't they warning immigrants not to come here? That's a very good question. Here's another example of why HOAs shouldn't exist. This guy isn't even part of the HOA, and they still gave him this letter.
Oh boy, what now? Subject: grilling activities causing disturbance. Dear non-HOA resident Colton Briggs, it has come to our attention that your recent grilling activities have sparked multiple complaints from members of our community. While we understand the appeal of outdoor cooking, the aromas emanating from your grill, whether it be steaks, brisket, or other meats, have become a source of frustration for our residents, many of whom are vegan and find the smell of grilled meat particularly unpleasant. As neighbors, it is essential to consider how your actions impact those around you. The pervasive scent of barbecue wafting into our HOA-managed properties disrupts the harmonious environment we strive to maintain. We kindly request that you refrain from doing any more grilling outdoors going forward. Yeah, that's certainly not going to happen. Instead, we encourage you to explore alternative cooking methods indoors that do not release such strong odors into the shared airspace. What the crap? We trust you will take this request seriously and adjust your culinary practices out of respect for your neighbors. Please note that continued disruptions may prompt us to escalate this matter further. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation in preserving the peaceful enjoyment of our neighborhood. Sincerely, Mrs. Ronald Smith. P.S. For inspiration, many of our members would be happy to share vegan recipes that align with the community's values and contribute to a more pleasant atmosphere for all. I think instead I'm going to host a grilling party, and everybody within 100 miles that has a grill is going to come and we're going to smoke and grill meat. I think I can be grilling on a daily occurrence now. What do you guys think? I need some more recipes and different things I need to try out now on my grill. Let me know what recipes I should try out next.
Why AI is causing summer electricity bills to soar. America's largest power grid is warning that AI-driven electricity use is pushing prices up for everyone. If your electricity bill seems shockingly high, you're not imagining it. A big part of the spike is being driven by the rising artificial intelligence electricity demand. But remember, it's all our fault, because we have to run our air conditioners and fans. Male self-unaliving rates, the wage gap, prostate cancer, breast cancer. They're not wrong. Pelosi to allegedly sue McDonald's for trademark infringement. It's sad that these days it's gotten to the point that you have to explain when something's just satire. Otherwise, you'll get flagged for false information. When the state takes the idea from cradle to grave a little too far. If you guys remember in a past episode a couple weeks ago, where Japan now has a working artificial womb, we're getting closer and closer to the Matrix. Actually, in reality, it's probably a whole lot closer than people realize, just in a different way. Let's all just take a moment to be thankful that spiders don't fly. Are you sure? They probably have some in Australia. July the 4th, July the 5th. If you go around to firework vendors, this is what you look for, because you know he's got the good stuff. I've worked for the post office for 2 years. This is a first. That ain't even enough money. I had to look it up because I think they just raised it recently, and they've said they're going to raise it again. But currently, one stamp is 78 cents. Where the woke used to live before the 90s. Yeah, because people can't use their turn signals. They're certainly going to remember to use this.
We're getting ducks get me.
I know. He thinks that's killing the other duck. Because it's moving faster. She's just making it more scared. Is that illegal? Oh wow. That's great. That's crazy. Just interfering with life. That's what ducks do. I think if the duck goes all the way out there, she's gonna fall. She has to follow. There's no shot shaver.
Just another example of how smart people are these days. Vegetable, fruit, salad. This technically is true, although the government reclassified pizza sauce as a vegetable just so the schools could continue to serve it. But that's today's science. Report. Home invasions are up 54% in the Toronto area, and experts advise the public to get a dog. And if an intruder enters your home, basically do nothing, because there isn't anything you can do unless you want to be charged by police. Yeah, that's basically true, and it's also true for a lot of major cities here in the US, and even some states as a whole. The best way to save money is to go in the house and lay down. No, you're still losing money. You got the air conditioner running, probably the computer and the TV on, and eventually you gotta eat too. So it all adds up. Remember, boys, this is for our gender fluid grandkids. If the men that fought in World War I and World War II knew what the state of this country was going to be in today, or even the state of the world for that matter, what do you think that they would have done? I think at the very least, they'd have turned around and went back home and started running for government offices, among many other things in DC. You know what's not cool, Bobby? Paying taxes on fireworks to celebrate the day we quit paying taxes. Yeah, and these days we pay more than 30% taxes, and even up to 50 and 60% taxes, especially when you start factoring in all the property taxes, license, registrations, permits, and a whole lot more. That's all taxes. And we ain't even getting into inflation, which is the hidden tax, although it's not so hidden these days.
I told her lead dispensers make me feel uncomfortable. She said we should both see other men.
If a man doesn't do everything within his ability to protect his family, he's not a man. The temperature outside today. I guarantee you, especially if your car had been sitting in the sun for a while. I went to open the door of my barn the other day, and a door handle just about burnt me. I've pooped in gas stations you wouldn't even be in. That brought back a memory of a time back about 20 years ago when I worked at Circuit City. There was one day that our janitor was walking down the main aisle, and he was pulling his entire cart with him. And I stopped and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" He said, "It looked like somebody went in the bathroom and blew up." He said, "It's on the floor. It's on the walls." He said, "Man, it's on the ceiling." I said, "I'd quit right now and walk out the front door." They should have hired a hazmat company. In case you didn't know what an electric car looks like from below. Yep, there you go. Fact check true. Lost the plastic cover though. Jeffrey Epstein's client list condensed. Yeah, pretty much. Antifa girls. Antifa guys. Imagine, if you will, a whole nation of idiots fooled by the television. We don't have to imagine anymore, unfortunately. That's a child.
That's a dinosaur.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
Yeah, well, I saw it on a rerun.
It's a rerun.
You'll find out.
Is this an acceptable way to advertise plus-size clothing? Well, if you don't have any other way, what else you gonna do? Why do they call the winners of the Super Bowl world champions when it's only played here in the U.S.? I mean, it's literally called American football. Please break the window. The AC is on and I have water, but he left Taylor Swift playing on the stereo. Yeah, they definitely need to get him out of there ASAP. That's just torture. No dog deserves that. I gave my wife a ring with a big stone, as requested. Well, it is true. If CNN existed in 1967, police kidnapped peaceful protester. Imagine you get unalived and some girl skips your episode of Forensic Files because it's too boring. That is pretty bad, actually, when you think about it. The first thing that comes to my mind is unsolved mysteries. Yeah, I am not reading this one because I know exactly what the algorithm would claim that I said. Another load of electric car fuel leaving Wyoming. Don't forget the AI data centers. Only the two in the top left and the bottom left are correct. HOA violations involving woman's brown grass led her to being arrested and jailed for 7 days. And yes, this is a real news story. I could just imagine sitting in jail and someone ask, "So, what are you in for?" "My grass turned brown." HOAs should all be banned and dissolved. European nuclear submarine command systems hacked. Source code stolen in major French defense breach. Yeah, you don't need to own nuclear weapons. You just need some hackers to hijack the systems. Scientists create prototype of robot designed to cannibalize parts of other robots and build them into itself. True autonomy means robots must not only think for themselves, but also physically sustain themselves. Yeah, because nobody knows how that'll turn out. Judge sends ChatGPT using lawyer to AI school with $5,500 fine after he's caught creating imaginary case law. Any lawyer unaware that using generative AI platforms to do legal research is playing with fire and is living in a cloud. And this is at least the second time I've heard about something like this. And that's only the ones that get caught. Netflix is now using generative AI, but it risks leaving viewers and creators behind. Yes, it absolutely does, because it's also happening on this platform. They are now not only encouraging creators to use AI, they're even introducing advanced tools to make entire videos right here on the platform. So if you like channels where it's real people and real voices, try to watch their videos and give them some support. Because eventually, at some point in time, there won't be many of us left. Lives on a desert planet all her life. Randomly knows how to swim. Maybe she was just thrown off in the deep end and told that you better learn quick. California couple put $33,060 on their tax bill instead of $3,360, and the IRS keeps trying to cash in on the mistake. Well, of course they do. Here in this box, it actually looks like they wrote it correctly. The problem is where they wrote out the words, they actually wrote $33,060. Over 90 private jets flew to Jeff Bezos' wedding, but don't forget to recycle, turn off the lights when you leave the room, and always use paper straws only. Fake nurse used at least 20 aliases to illegally treat patients. Just gets worse all the time. Real-life RoboCop makes debut in Shanghai, directing traffic at bustling intersection. China's really cranking out the bots now, and some of them can do a lot more things, especially for the money, than almost any video that I've saw of some of the others that cost many times more. You never realize why you've got until it's gone. That is very true. Do car dealerships really have microphones to eavesdrop on customers' personal conversations? I'll tell you right now, they absolutely do. Back a lot of years ago, I was actually fired as a salesman at a dealership because I didn't completely rip off this couple that came in to buy a used car for their daughter. Their initial offer was twice as much as what the car was worth, and the dealership would have only tried to drive the price up from there. So I cut their offer in half before I took it to the sales manager. I was promptly fired about 2 hours later. There's two types of shoppers, job and no job. They're not wrong. What people in California were promised, what they got. Well, most of the big cities in the rest of the country is heading that direction. Are you awake? No. The government has arrested more squirrels and raccoons than any of Epstein's clients. That is fact-check true. Western teenagers praising communism. Eastern Europeans. The younger generations has been completely brainwashed in the schools and have no factual idea about what they're really talking about and supporting. Since hair can be preserved in fossils, we can't rule out the possibility that dinosaurs looked like this. I don't know about that, but I definitely could see them being more like giant chickens rather than reptiles. Another one from Canada. We're in a crisis, so please go work harder, pay more taxes, and let us know how it goes after our 8-week recess. That's no better than our Congress. And I'll end today's show with this. Some of us has been through so much bull in life that good feels like a setup. That is very true. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys back here on Friday's show. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this week. This is Akorn, over and out.